Good day. This is Cast Iron ASMR with an all-new Archie Comics Digest. Just the other day I had mentioned have Archie Comics stopped publishing, and then yesterday I was given this new Archie Comics Digest. Spring break. Kind of looks like it's a summer issue, but maybe they're going to go away for spring break. That's the idea. It's a Dan Parent cover. So I was in a waiting area, and I read this whole comic. I read it all but the last story, and I just read the last story right now. So let's take a look. Let's think about things that we could expect to happen in this spring break comic. If you said you were thinking wind plays a big role. Wind-wrecking hairdos. So I thought maybe this was going to be published now quarterly, because the Halloween episode was the first issue, was the first one in this new larger format, like width and length, but it's much thinner. Its title is Archie Comics Digest, Volume 2, and this was issue 4. So I had to do some thinking, because the Halloween one is 1. They made a Christmas one, I didn't get that. And this is the spring one, so that's 3. But no, I bought a friend one of these word searches, and it has Archie comic strips throughout, and then word searches. Wait, was it a word search? No, it was a crossword. Anyway, so what I'm getting at is this is part of the numbering. It must be. Anywho, let's get on with the spring break fun. So there's no new stories. These are all reprinted stories, but they put Archie's, and then they put spring break underneath to trick you. Here's a Jeff Schultz penciled story. This was when earlier in his career, maybe. Well, this one's funny. So as their lead story, how I can confidently say it's not a new story without instantly recognizing it, because it's a little dated. They're going to Hollywood, and they're making reference to, well, there's Ben Affleck, which you may say, oh, that's fine, but no, and Britannica Spires. But the big star in the film that Reggie has got them as actor or as extras, but it's Sandra Bullock. What's her name? Like Sandy Latch or something. Like, oh, I loved her in the Speed Bump movies. Speed Bump 1, Speed Bump 2, and Dilton. Dilton, using his smarts, saves her a couple times on set. And actually his heroic saves were kept and put in the feature movie. This one was good, this Betty and Veronica one. So it starts out, Betty's coming over and Veronica's watching her soaps. And Betty's like, it's a very nice day, let's go outside. Like, why do we gotta go outside? Like, why does the sun dictate what I do? Like, I'm gonna sit here and eat my bonbons. She calls her a couch potato. She's like, okay, I'm coming. And it's nice. It's a gorgeous day. But then it's getting a little bit cold. And then it starts raining a downpour. Yeah, there'll be lots of spring showers in these stories. And then it starts hailing. And then, could it get any worse? I had to ask, snow. It starts snowing. Snow? I can relate. So they gotta duck into the chocolate shop. And then they go in there like, what's going on? Like the air conditioning kicked in. Because it was warm in the morning. And then it's starting to clear up, so they're leaving. The air conditioner finally shuts off. It's getting warm. And so they go back to Ronnie's house. Back home, safe and dry. Betty says, I was right though. It was just a spring shower. And then Veronica says, if that's your idea of a shower, dear Betty, I'll take a nice hot bath anytime. But from the time that she said that to that, she just got undressed, hopped in her nice warm bath, has her bonbons and her soap opera going. I thought that was kind of funny. Well, spring cleaning is also featured heavily. Archie is swooning over pictures of Veronica. And Andrew's parents say it's time to spring clean. But Jughead comes over and convinces them, very slyly, that by having Archie help them, things will get destroyed because he's so clumsy. And it works. But then they start washing Veronica's car for some reason. I thought maybe she had to do chores, but she doesn't have to do chores. She makes some excuse so they have to wash her car. Oh, did I miss that part? Anyway, I think it was that story. And the parents get wise to it. And they even get Jughead have to help do the chores. This one was good too. On the strength of the story, it's springtime, everybody's looking outside. Then they're imagining frolicking along, la 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 la, like skipping. What are you doing? You're daydreaming, Betty. Even the good students. They say that a couple times, like Dilton. And then even Miss Grundy gets in on the daydreaming action. Singing and skipping along in the meadows. In spring, they really have spring forefront in all the stories. There's a pin-up. Archie, that's not what I meant when I said you could play the field. Here we got some spring cleaning. That was like the special mat whacker. Who said the world loves a lover? Ginger's spring style. Okay, now I used to think that Ginger was Mr. Weatherby's niece, but I kind of think that's wrong now. Oh, Angelina P. from Canada styled one of these. Elizabeth Y. from Washington. I don't know what PA is. Brenda M. from, Pasadena. I don't know, that's my guess. Oh, this one's funny too. It's a Dan Parent drawn one, which aren't my favorite. Look at the size of Jughead's hamburger, cheeseburger. But all the guys, it's like a two-parter. All the guys have to get onto their dates, but they don't want their dates to get other dates. So they get Jughead, known woman hater, to agree to go, because then there'll be no funny business. And they're gonna buy him like a week's worth of food at Pop Tate's. Even Moose. Like, look at all the people. I don't know who that guy is. Oh, he's Ginger's boyfriend. I think he's just I don't think that's a main guy. And Maria, what's that guy's name again? Anyway, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and Archie, 5 dates. And so, but then all the boys don't tell their dates that it's Jughead who's going to be picking them up. Jughead, what are you doing here? Why didn't he tell me about this? What a creep. Betty. But if he didn't want me with anyone else, that's kind of sweet too. Veronica's not so happy. She's not so understanding. Look at the, it's Frankie and Maria? But then the girls get together. It's probably Veronica's idea. They're gonna tell the boys they had the most romantic evening with a Jughead. Even Betty, I think it's Betty, says like, will they believe it? Yeagle. So then, and the funny thing is, so that's the end of the night, and then it's like a couple of days later, like Archie didn't check in. Anyway. Hey Jug, haven't seen you in a couple days. How did it go? Like he'd be chomping at the bit for his free burgers. But whatever. I'll start with 7 cheeseburgers and 3 hot dog sundaes. 3 hot dog sundaes. 3 hot fudge sundaes. And here comes Betty, comes in. Hi, lover boy. Hi, Betty. Not you, Jughead. I'm eating. It was so romantic. Jug was quite a dancer. And what a great kisser. Who knew that whole girl-hating thing was just a front? Is this true, girls? About Jughead being a heartthrob. You better believe it. Jughead made me swoon. Boys, you've met your match. And even Midge says, he's so romantic. Look at Moose. He's gonna pop. I hope I'm hearing this wrong. My heart will never be the same. Grrr. Wait, Moose. we'll help you, Moose. And he picks up Jughead and throws him through his sundaes and food. Then they say we were just kidding. But it ends with Jughead eating some chocolate ice cream off of his head. Better not let it go to waste. Haha. So I thought they were pretty mean to Jughead there, but it ended okay. Here we've got, this is a nice Dan DeCarlo one. You can tell the wind. Is this the one? I think this, Veronica's got a lot of good burns. She's in good form. Oh yeah, Jughead's hat flies away. That's ugly. Like I should get a chin strap for this baby. I thought that was funny. Veronica's like, you could always staple it to your head. Oh, it's ruining her expensive hairdo. It's always a concern. Oh, this is a nice thing. They're talking about red sky at night. Where's the light? Red sky in the morn. Sailors take warn. Sailors morning. Sailors take warning. Old adages. But then Veronica bumps into this attractive boy. You can tell when they're attractive because they have noses like the girls. They don't have main character like Archie nose is like a little round thing. They have the little triangle. Here's a nice old one, I like that. Archie and Keen Teen. When I was a boy, you know, you could tell. You could tell they were older stories. They're talking about, yeah, there's always a spring dance. And they're not getting any attention from the girls. So Archie leans over to Reggie and says, I don't think that's any of the girls' business. What isn't? There's a joke about spring cleaning. Oh, and also he's watching a baseball game. And they're like, oh, it was called like on account of rain. And Mom's like, no, do chores. Which one is this? Okay, here's the one where it's about like spring break in Florida. This one, it's a two-parter. And they were going to go to Marine World in Florida. But now there's no time. They think no time. They can't do it. But they suggest that they could do it on their spring break. And the kids really just want to go to the beaches and the spring break parties. And the staff know this. So they're like, we're not going to let them do anything, and they get this real sort of stern, strict women's phys ed teacher to come and put them in line. But they're being really mean about it. The teacher's like, they're not going to have any fun. And then they're like, okay, you can go have a little bit of fun. And they're waiting. And then the teachers go, and it's the Rock TV, like MTV, but Rock TV Spring Break Dance Party. And Miss Grundy and Waldo Weatherby, and I forget who they call this lady. They all start dancing, and of course, they win the contest. And then back at home, all the parents are like, yeah, take our kids. They'll be under good chaperoned care, especially after they saw this somewhat butch type. She was being mean. She was being tough. She was even pressuring the teachers. Grundy, Weatherby, let's get a move on. We're coming. And then they see Fred, and they see the chaperones dancing on the TV. Here we've got Spring Carnival Style. Okay, I'm just going to make one little note I noticed on the cover. And right here, this is Artist and Parent, one of the current artists. When I was flipping through, and I was like, oh, this is, I can tell this is kind of earlier work. You know, they're just but like, he's just floating there anyway. You can see through there, and he didn't draw the rest of him. And then I looked at the cover, and I thought, oh, when I was looking at the cover, and I mean, they're just getting phoned in nowadays, these covers. But I was like, oh, there's Archie and Jughead. But at first I was like, what? And like, where's their bodies? And I was like, oh, there's this thing here, so they're behind that. Very convenient. I was like, what is that, a giant beach ball? And I thought, oh, maybe it's just sort of like more of a collage type thing. But I think that's supposed to be a beach umbrella. Anyway, no joke. Just them kind of leering from behind this giant beach umbrella or ball. Fernando. I even read, like, I'm not, I don't know, big fan of this Sabrina, whatever this reboot was. Reboot this style. But I read it. Yeah, baseball. Baseball's a big part of these stories. And then the ads. I think this was like after the TV show, because then they wanted to update. Or maybe there was a cartoon. Maybe this is about the cartoon style. But they didn't want them to, the ants to look like green-haired witches. And that was the old style. Well, I like this. There was a one-pager with Nancy. Nancy looks like she could be like a mother. She just looks older in that frame for some reason. But I do like, they kind of dropped Nancy. I don't print her stories very much anymore. Let's check out. They're always imagining frolicking in the flowers. I like it. I don't know. It's kind of funny. Even Dilton, this was the story, like, yeah, you can make it. And then Jughead, he's imagining barbecuing. Midge, Moose. Oh, there's Nancy. Nancy's imagining Chuck. It's good to see Nancy and Chuck. in the end of this story, they made it through a day. It was like the first beautiful spring day, and nobody could get their heads in class. But then the old bee tells the teachers they have to have this emergency meeting. And now they're imagining. They're not frolicking. He's jogging and she's riding a bicycle. Some spring cleaning. There's a one-pager where instead of cleaning, just save your money and pay for someone else to do it. Bridget's spring looks. Let's see where these came from. May, J, and H. New Hampshire, that's what I think that is. New Haven? New Haven, maybe. High, I don't know what that one is. High, B high, Christina. NY, New York, Olivia. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Which one? I don't really. So is that that? This is a bonus one. That was just Dan Parents. Give me a spring break. I don't like the coloring in this. The way that, like, oh, look at this special new technique. That doesn't look good. And this is when, this is Dan Parent's art. And when he draws the profiles of the girls, Betty and Veronica, they often look like Miss Piggy. Especially there. I don't like how this color in the background, they did this for a time, so they're just, I think, reprinting, well, they're reprinting the story, but for a time, they thought, look at this new technology. Don't that tree bark look oh so good with this new, no, it doesn't. It's good. Hey, that's my thoughts on it. This was kind of neat. There's a joke about, Betty says, that's quite the outfit you have there, because she's got all these workers. What do you call it, like a construction outfit. And then Betty says, do you like it? You should have seen all the outfits I tried on. And then she just imagines them, and so it's sort of like a style pin-up page in the story. So I give props there. I wonder if this was written by Dan Parent. Yeah, script and pencils by Dan Parent. If you find very early Dan Parent stories, he was like, he was working with Dan DiCarlo. And in the beginning, maybe when he took over, I think he spent a lot of time because he was going to be compared. You replaced him, essentially. Archie artist. He wouldn't be pulling these Muppet faces back then, I don't think. But the story, as much as I love many comics, and mostly because of the art and the cool storytelling. This story was good. It was unique in that, was this a two-parter? No. Veronica wants to go on a spring break, take Betty, but Betty's signed up. She can't go now. for some committee that's going to be planting stuff in the parks and what have you. And so Veronica says, well, what if I help you? You know, and then she brings all her expensive gear and has the construction company come and help or what have you. The gardeners, landscapers. But then she gets right into it. And it was kind of neat, I thought. Like she was genuinely like, God, I don't want to go now. I got all this work to do. Flowers in a V shape on the estate. So I had read all that, just waiting in the waiting room. And I even like stared at the walls for a while. And then I just read this one, maybe an hour ago. A hair affair. Kaboom! Wow, I made it just in time. It's Jeff Schultz. And she does her unveiling. She's got a new look for spring. Archie says, I always thought you looked good, girls. And the funny thing is, Archie's filling in for Pops. Like, I would not get him. And then they got Jughead working there too. And like, how could you get Jughead to work? Well, it's like an open tab, so he's just stuffing his face. She's like, oh, her hair's gonna get ruined. She's got some stuff to do. So she's like, Archie, do my stuff, and I'll stay here. Like, well, I did promise Pops. It's like, you do it. Okay. And then, so she gets a phone call. Like, she can run the place. It's all rainy outside. It's not very busy. Jug's there. Jug's there just eating. So Veronica just starts, and she gets this phone call. A delivery to Pine Street? I'll check on that. Jughead's like, I forgot about it. I'm making my burger here. Like, what is it going to do to get 6 meals around here? Veronica's looking at herself. So it was Jughead's fault this delivery didn't happen. And then Jughead left his burger. There. And then it's cleared up, so they're like, let's get back. Veronica can leave, her hair will be fine. But the sprinkler system is on. Because Jughead's burger was burning. And then he's like, my burger. But they were kind of blaming Ron. It really wasn't her fault. And then the joke is, oh, Pops wanted a day off before the big spring clean. Like, we got a early start on the spring cleaning. Spring fever. Archie must have spring fever. With him, spring is all year round. Because he's always got the fever. Yeah. I don't think they make regular digest anymore. It's just this stuff. This is only number 4. So, it's okay though. I mean,